In 1908, President Theodore Roosevelt, known for his vigorous approach to life, saw a troubling trend within the U.S. military. Officers were becoming, as he described, flabby, a word that didn't just refer to their physical state but symbolized a lack of readiness. Roosevelt, believing that a physically fit officer would lead a physically prepared unit, issued an executive order demanding that every military officer complete a 50-mile march within 20 hours. This wasn't just a test of physical strength, it was a test of character, a challenge that would separate those fit to serve from those who were not. Roosevelt's order struck fear in the hearts of some older officers, who were, according to reports, so unfit physically that their condition would have excited laughter. Yet for Roosevelt, this was serious business. Fitness was a key part of his vision for a strong and prepared nation. His goal was to reawaken a warrior spirit in the officers, a willingness to endure hardship for the greater good. He even joked that if he could do it, so should a middle-aged woman, underscoring his confidence that any able-bodied officer could complete the feat. The Marines and the challenge. As the order spread, each branch of the military faced it in its own way. But among them, the U.S. Marines saw this challenge differently. They prided themselves on their physical resilience and readiness for combat. For them, this march was simply a validation of what they already practiced. It was a way to prove their strength and endurance to the nation, their fellow soldiers, and themselves. The Army and Navy followed the lead of the Marines, beginning regular training for the march. Officers were expected to adjust their lifestyles, focusing on fitness, nutrition, and endurance. Reports from the time note that officers began learning how to take care of their feet and health to avoid injury. One officer noted that the march eliminated the wholly unfit and was rapidly forming a taste for physical exercise among the ranks. What started as an order became an unspoken pride for many, a pride that tied back to Roosevelt's vision of a prepared nation. The forgotten order resurfaces with JFK. Though the order faded over the years, it wasn't gone forever. Decades later, in 1962, President John F. Kennedy, a passionate advocate for physical fitness, rediscovered Roosevelt's executive order. JFK, like Roosevelt, believed that physical endurance wasn't just for soldiers but for every American. He reintroduced the 50-mile challenge as part of his presidential physical fitness program, not just as a military requirement but as a nationwide challenge to inspire all Americans to achieve physical resilience. JFK's vision lit a fire across the nation. Suddenly, Americans from every walk of life were participating in the 50-mile march, seeing it as an opportunity to test their own limits. Citizens from all across the country, both young and old, took up the challenge, walking through rain and cold, marching long hours into the night, and emerging with a sense of pride and accomplishment. Physical fitness was becoming an American ideal. RFK's legendary march in loafers. Among those who embraced the challenge was none other than JFK's brother, Robert F. Kennedy. In a show of solidarity and resilience, RFK took up the challenge on a February day, walking from the White House to Camp David. But RFK took on the challenge with a twist. He wore nothing but a pair of loafers. Braving the cold, wet weather, RFK's march became legendary. People watched in awe as he trudged through snow and icy conditions, symbolizing the endurance the 50-mile challenge represented. His achievement captured the imagination of the public and reignited a national enthusiasm for the challenge. It was no longer just a march, it was a movement, a nationwide fitness movement. Inspired by both the legacy of Roosevelt and the example of the Kennedys, people of all ages began organizing their own 50-mile challenges. Scout groups, high schools, and even office workers rallied to take on the march, each driven by a desire to push their limits. Some completed the distance with family members. Others gathered with friends to walk through the night, finding a sense of accomplishment in every step. Boy Scout troops from as young as 13 took up the challenge, often completing the march in groups, bonding over the shared struggle. The military took up the challenge anew, reaffirming their commitment to physical fitness and endurance. This wasn't just about reaching a finish line. It was about embodying the spirit of resilience and readiness that had first inspired Roosevelt. The lasting legacy of the 50-mile challenge. Today, the legacy of the 50-mile march remains a testament to two iconic presidents, each with a vision of a physically fit and prepared America. Theodore Roosevelt's initiative and John F. Kennedy's revival of the challenge show that fitness isn't just physical. It's a reflection of one's dedication, resilience, and mental fortitude. For Roosevelt and Kennedy, it wasn't simply a fitness test. It was a means of building a stronger, more capable society. The 50-mile challenge continues to inspire people today. Whether through organized events, endurance races, or personal goals, the spirit of the challenge lives on. It's not just a historical order but a timeless call to push beyond comfort, to reach for something greater, and to celebrate the resilience within each of us. The 50-mile march may have started as a military requirement, but it became a national symbol of endurance and pride. From the Marines to JFK's presidency, and even RFK's iconic walk in the snow, the challenge has inspired generations to reach their limits. If this story resonated with you, if it inspires you to push your own limits, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of courage, resilience, and endurance. Join us next time as we explore another chapter in the history of American spirit.